We've been waiting for this Goku for, who cares? Let's just open it already. I have been waiting for this Goku for months, but the reason I've been looking forward to this is because this specific color is gonna go perfect with my Ultimate Gohan head sculpts by HM Air. I got this for $40. For starters, I ordered 3 copies. One for an actual Goku, another one for Gohan, and then a third one just because you can never have enough Gokus. You're always gonna need it for something. All three of 3 copies came with this. The face is not on the body. All of the copies that I got have had the face thing issue. I've been told that it's not really an issue. It just comes like that. That's how it was packaged. So let's get this opened and see if we can finally get that Ultimate Gohan. I mean, check this figure to see if this is the best Goku out there. Now I just want to get this straight. I didn't really buy it for Goku. I bought it for Ultimate Gohan. So let's get started. Here he is, the kindest, hardest, what does this say? Kind-hearted Saiyan. I really do need glasses. Son Goku, the kind-hearted Saiyan. This is something that I've been waiting for a while because we haven't had a proper base Goku head sculpt, an official one at least. We've had other head sculpts in the past, some that are fragile, some that are not so accurate. The official releases that are just inaccurate and completely just toyish. I don't think we've ever gotten a proper base Goku sculpt that actually looks the part. So I'm very excited to unbox this because already the face on the box looks uncanny. Really, I just love the coloring of this box. This is a dark orange, very similar to the Lowest Born Saiyan box, and the colors are very similar as well. I feel like this is a little bit more red because the Lowest Born Saiyan is slightly more on the orange spectrum. It does have some shading towards the bottom, which is not something that this one seems to have, but it doesn't really matter because this blood red orange is the perfect color that I want for my Ultimate Buu Saga Gohan. I mean, the perfect Goku figure that we deserve. This is based on the Cell Game Saga Goku, and I'm very excited to see what it looks like. So let's unbox it. I'm a right box opener, okay? And just for funsies, we're gonna have my emotional support Gohan right there. No correlation to this video at all. And we're gonna take this one out. Oof, yeah, so like I said, the faces are not on the body. I don't know if it had something to do with the shipment, but I just find it weird because I ordered 2 copies from AliExpress and 1 copy from Toy Grail Shop. It's kind of funny that all 3 of them arrived in the exact same way. Oh my goodness, see this color already? I think there is some sort of gradients towards the bottom of the pants. I think they are applying the gradient to a lot of the newer releases. For example, in the Games Begin Goku body, there is some sort of resemblance of this color onto the pants of this one. I'm just gonna scan it real quick with my eyeballs. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna fix this. Pop that back in. I'm hoping that it doesn't have any issues because this is from the Vietnam factory. In terms of faces, you get 4 faces: smiling base Goku, teeth gritting base Goku, screaming base Goku, basic base Goku. I don't really know how else to describe that face. Not only do you get 1 hair, you get 2. You get it flowing hair, and then you get the regular base Goku hair. Now on top of that, you get 12 hands, 6 sets of hands, fighting pose hands, ki blast hands, another set of ki blast hands, open hand ki blast hands, and instant transmission hands, and then you get a closed fist hand. So pretty much what we get from a general release for $39, it's not bad at all, considering this is going to be the base body for future Goku figures. Let's move on to the articulation because that's where I'm going to find out if we're going to have QC problems or not. This darker gi looks perfect. I think the darker blue really contrasts well with the skin tone. Oh look, this Gohan that has nothing to do with this video is right here. He is slightly less pale than the Games Begin Goku, and you can see it on the arms. It's just a very slight difference. This is obviously a very darker orange than the Super Saiyan 1. It seems that the darker orange for the Games Begin Goku is the base color for the kind-hearted Saiyan. Now, in terms of quality control, I haven't had any issues yet. Everything seems to be pretty stiff. Nothing is wobbly or loose. So I'm very happy about that. Let's just check over the articulation. This is actually one of my favorite articulated bodies. I know a lot of people aren't too crazy about this section in the torso, but I love it. I really don't care about the gap because the gap is very easy to hide if you know how to pose it properly. I would rather get the gap to have a more extreme ab crunch than to have no gap and just have no ab crunch at all, which was the case with Superhero Vegeta. I love this range. Oh, there it is. That's the thing that people were talking about. So I'm gonna push that in. Does have some issues specifically with this bicep swivel. See how it's coming off? I never had that happen with the Games Begin Goku. It's been pretty lax in that department. So this is my first time experiencing this sort of issue, but still the range that you get with this arm is incredible. I love this color, the darker blue shirt with the darker blue sleeves. I love this blue and orange combination. I think it looks beautiful. The bicep swivel right here, I do feel like with every twist it does feel like it wants to come off. You see how there's like more separation between the bicep and the shoulder? I think that is very close to coming off. So it does have the same articulation as the Games Begin. I feel, might be wrong, that the Super Saiyan head had a slightly more range for looking up than this head, but for looking down it's pretty much the same. I'm not having any issues with the faces. This is actually one of the better feeling figures that I've handled. It does have the regular 4.0 app crunch. I love this app crunch. I do not care about this gap. If you're so worried about the gap, all you have to do is just lift this belt piece just slightly and then you just get rid of the gap. And then also we could just wait for HMR to finally release their extension. So that is another option that we can get. Now let's go back. Okay, again, this is beautiful. Maybe the gap is too present. That's fine. Not a big deal for me. One thing I will say about this specific model, this thigh area seems to be more indented than the Games Begin Goku. You kind of get a better blend in this area, whereas the new one, it feels like it's inside. So that causes more shadows on the sides. It doesn't feel as smooth as before. Obviously, you get so much range in here because the crotch area is soft plastic. It really just frees up the movement a lot. It's a single jointed knee and it's not really my favorite because you only get a 90-degree bend. With the ugly triangular knee, you get this ugly triangular knee, but you get a really deep angle. The trade-off for having that much range in the double jointed knee is this ugly knee, but if we could find a way to kind of just apply this single jointed knee, because I think it's very smooth, I love the aesthetic of this knee, and just give us a little bit more range for the bend, I think that would push this figure over the top. For these type of characters, you kind of need more than a 90-degree angle for a knee bend. I love the knees aesthetically, but they're very limiting. Now, a lot of people complain about this shin. This shin has gotten me out of so many situations where I need to balance the figure to stand on its own. And because this shin moves front to back, I'm able to have that balance. This is a good pointed foot. Then obviously we have the toe articulation, so that's good. I love this brown. Is it different from the other one? The brown is slightly darker. Love this color scheme. For the back, we just go back. We get some good range on Goku right here. Can he do the splits? Well, yes. And then the last thing we have is this ankle. This is great because you get to have some dynamic posing. Is that as much as we're gonna get? Oh my goodness. Pretty much what we're gonna get with this sort of range. You know, it's not the best articulation in the world, but I think aesthetically it works so much better for these type of character designs. I think this articulation is about as good as it's gonna get. I know there's some improvements that we can make, especially with the knees, you know, compared to where we started with the 1.0s, then going on to the 2.0s, and then they started refining everything. Now leading up to this, what most people call the 4.0s, we are just getting started with how great the engineering has gotten for these SH Figuarts. But here's the thing, this Goku is great, but that's not what I bought this for. Let's go over the faces first. You know what I like about this face specifically is that it's very, very, very close to the anime. We didn't get a lot of Goku during the Android saga because he was, you know, dying, but this Goku was more predominant in the movies. This one is a better version of the base Goku hair that Tamashii Nations has been giving us for the last few releases. This is the screaming face. I love the depth in the mouth. What I don't like though is that little curve on the outside of the eyes. I don't really like that. Usually around this era, that curve is gone. Anything after the Frieza saga, that curve became a straight line. The fact that it's brought back here for this era, I don't really like that specifically. The eyes just seem to be slightly further away. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they're doing that, but that seems to be the case over here. Maybe if they brought brought the eyes a little closer together. Hi, so this is future me. I decided to take this image into Photoshop. At first, I thought the problem was the eyes, but after editing this image in Photoshop, I realized that the eyes aren't the issue. The real problem is that the lower half of the face is too short. Look at the difference. I extended the jawline slightly. The eyes aren't the problem. The jawline is the problem. The eyes are too big for this small jawline. I also straightened the line on the sides because those shouldn't be curved. And now I'm getting more angry because this face shouldn't be the standard face. Anyway, back to the video. It looks better than any of the other screaming faces that they've given us, that's for sure. Teeth gritting base Goku. It's not as curved as the other eyes from the face that we just saw. There's still that wideness to the eyes that I really don't vibe with. I do think they did a better job in the lowest born Saiyan with this specific mouth. I wish there was more depth to the mouth as opposed to just looking like the teeth are on top of the faceplate, if that makes sense. Lastly, we have the smiling Goku. I think this is a perfect base Goku face. I think these are the best faces we've gotten so far, but there's always room for improvement. Now let's remove this head and see what they look like with this dynamic hair. This is the hair blown hair. What am I saying? This is the hair with air. This is the wind blown hair. I don't know what I was saying. This hair looks amazing. And let's compare it with this lowest born Saiyan. I love how angular this is. This looks a little bit more sculpted. It's not as smooth as the previous ones. One of the things that I didn't like about the previous base Gokus is that the hair was just so smooth. I love that they're applying the angular sculpting for the newer releases. It's more boxy. It's very close to the modern Yamamuro. It works in a 3D form because those angles help with the shadows. I think it's the perfect base Goku. I don't think there's anything out there that can give us a good base Goku. There's this head. I do like the sculpting of the hair. I feel like the eyes are a little too big, but it's perfect for the earlier Frieza saga as opposed to this one, which is more inclined to the Cell Games Android saga. So I think each of them have their own styles. This specifically has brought me so many problems. Super fragile. This head, though it looks great and I love this little strand of hair, it's not something I can recommend because it has brought me so much more pain than enjoyment. So now that we've gone over the stock options, let's go over what is compatible with this body. So we do have a few options that we can try on this body. I'm not too big on having a darker gi color for a Super Saiyan. However, once they mastered Super Saiyan when they were getting ready for the Cell Games, the gi does become slightly darker. Let's try it with the DKO last duel. If you haven't checked out my review on the DKO heads, do that right now. Pause this video and do it right now. See how easy that was? This is such an easy head to work with. I think it works for this body more than it does for the Games Begin one. The neck might be a little thinner. I'm not sure. It might be me, but let me know if you agree. I feel like the kind-hearted Saiyan is slightly less bulky than the Games Begin Goku. Actually, that works a lot better for this head. The only issue that I'm having is that it kind of looks like the head is tilted. There's sort of a yellowish tint on the skin color compared to the slightly rosy pink that is on the face. One of the things I don't necessarily enjoy about the Games Begin Goku is that the sleeves often get lost under the orange. So the way that I take them out is I raise this arm and then I lower it, but it brings the blue with it. So then you just adjust it. And I've seen people super glue it. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just fix it myself. But yeah, there you go. That's how you get it out. And then you get this. I think it looks so much better with the DKO heads. Let's see what it looks like with the lowest born Saiyan head. There is some sort of tone difference with the skin. The lowest born Saiyan is slightly more orange than the actual neck. Honestly, it doesn't look that bad at all. This head is way too tan for this body. This head was specifically made for the legendary Super Saiyan Goku. The style works, but it kind of makes it look like a Demonalco Fit figure. Completely unrelated, but I mean, since we're already here, this Gohan head, we could try it. I mean, if you want, we don't have to, but we could try it. I forgot I have to replace the entire neck peg. Okay, so let's remove this neck peg. This neck peg does not want to leave. What happened to my pliers? Where did my pliers go? That was so difficult. I've never had an issue with any of the Games Begin Gokus. Like, I use heat, water. I don't use water. Something cracked. I'm not sure what that was. That was the strongest joint I've ever had to deal with. Anyway, all right, let's pop this in. So let's put this back on the body. Do you see the sweat marks? Right here. There we go. Surprise! I got what I wanted. This is literally all I made this video for. This is exactly what I was trying to do. I've been trying to get this Gohan since this kind-hearted Saiyan was announced. This is the perfect color scheme for Ultimate Gohan. I'm still sweating. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm just kidding. I'm so happy. This is the absolute Gohan. I'm gonna see how the kind-hearted Saiyan looks on the Games Begin Goku body. So because it does use the same neck peg, I'm sure that won't be an issue. I think that the Games Begin Goku works perfect for the base head. The kind-hearted Saiyan is perfect for the Ultimate Gohan. You don't necessarily have to use this HM Air head sculpt. That's the one that I prefer to use. It also works perfectly well with the superhero Gohan head sculpt. Those are your options if you haven't been able to get this head sculpt. This head sculpt is practically impossible to find at a decent price now. If you find it at all, I don't think you're gonna find it for less than $70. If I can find any store that has it, I will link it down below. If not, I think you're just better off waiting until they restock. So let's try all of these out in the posing session, and I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. I'm dead.
I think it's time to focus on the here and now. Fight you? No, I want to kill you.
Gohan, you've got to fight back! Remember all the pain he's caused and the people he's hurt! Use your anger! Let your power explode!
All right, so final thought. I actually think Tamashii Nations is moving in the right direction with these newer Goku releases. This is one of the best looking Goku bodies they've ever made. Now, is it perfect? No. No. The knees are aesthetically better looking than the triangular knees, but they're still a little disappointing because you're trading off aesthetic for use. The single jointed knee severely limits the range of motion compared to what we know Tamashii can do. And I also had a bit of concern with the bicep swivel. There were a few moments where it felt like the arm wanted to separate, and that's definitely something that you have to deal with on the long term. As for the faces, I think they're good. They're very good, but they're not great. The eyes feel a little too wide, but it's not enough to ruin the figure. The only thing is that once you notice it, it's very hard to unsee. That said, the funny thing, not like funny, but like funny haha, I didn't actually buy this figure because I wanted another Goku. I actually bought this figure because I wanted a better Ultimate Gohan. The colors are perfect. The neck works beautifully with the HM Air head sculpts, okay? And once you put everything together, I genuinely think that this creates the definitive Ultimate Gohan. This is the first time where I've put everything together and I thought, yeah, that's it. That's the one. So while I do think this is a really good Goku figure, I think this is an even better Gohan. And honestly, that's kind of the biggest compliment I can give it. Now, if you want to see the full review of the HM Air Gohan head sculpts, be sure to check that out as well, because I go all in depth with all of the faces and everything that was available there. But for now, I think Tamashii Nations accidentally gave us the perfect Ultimate Gohan body. And I'm absolutely here for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.